I don't want to feel like it's almost like this, but my situation, because it's only my subjective situation that I have experience of, must be special, must be this like, this is my experience has been like, well, my brain is super fucked up. Like, how is therapy going to help? Because therapy is this cookie cutter thing that won't fit on because I'm unique, I'm special, and I've had the worst experience ever, and they won't know. Whereas when you actually go through the process of sitting down with a professional, they can point out all of these different things and go, this is how the brain reacts to this traditionally. This is how your brain is reacting to this. This is how people react when people say this to people, and like all of these things, which when you start to internalize them, you can go, oh, in a good way, I'm not actually that special. This is a very normal process that my brain is going through in trying to, whether it's push things down or trying to rationalize things or
make sense of it,
or forgetting things, like your thing with the memory thing. Like that's a very
Yes,
maybe
it's
normal isn't the right word, but it's not weird.
No,
that's what's happening.
Apparently, it's not
exactly, and that's such a, like you said, such a healing thing, but also such a freeing thing where you kind of go, I'm not that
fucked up.
Yeah,
actually, my brain
I can
brilliant.
Fix this, and I can get on top of it.
And my brain's actually really clever.
Yeah,
it's absolutely extraordinary.
That's like a protection mechanism.
And it even went so far as to talk about the kind of sexual abuse that I experienced. People can dissociate.
Yep.
That can split off. Their parts of their personality can fragment, and they launched right into that part of the psychology. Years ago, they used to call it multiple personality disorder.
Yep.
Now they call it something else, and I can't think of the acronym, but it means the same thing.
Yep.
And I thought, oh my gosh! And this psychologist talks about it as such a wonderful way that the brain does what the brain does to keep the individual together and stitched up.
Yeah.
And I used to think I was quite mental and crazy for being that way, but it's actually been I see it as quite a God thing, Jonty, and that God has, while that trauma was really disgusting, I'm almost at a place where I think I can say, thank you, Lord, that you protected me along the way. Because often people say, how can you be a Christian? Where was God when that happened? This shit thing happened to you. Where is God? God's the same, unchanged, always going to be who God is. I'll be chatting to him about it when I get to heaven, along with a whole bunch of things. One of those things will be my pelvic floor.
It's on the list.
Yeah, I've got a list of things. It's nose hair growth. Oh, mate, I got a list of things I'm going to ask God when I get to heaven.
Yeah.
But one of those things is about the amygdala and the brain and anxious thinking and multiple personality disorder and fragmenting of the mind and all of that. And I reckon I'm at a place where I could almost say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, that you have, that experience was mine to have and to hold and to endure, but you were there and you gave me mechanisms so that I could cope and so that I could heal. Yeah, I've got a bit of a sore jaw at the moment, but that'll probably fix up in a couple of weeks and it'll settle down. And I will do more healing on the process because the jaw's come up, right? The jaw has come up, and so therefore I'm forced to have to do some work, whereas before I wouldn't have probably done the work that I'm going to have to do at the moment. And the jaw's just a way of the body going, okay, you're grinding, you're stressed, your body needs to deal with a little bit more stuff that's flushing up to the surface.
That's one of the really, really critical things that I learned is paying attention to your body.
Yeah.
As opposed to paying attention to your mind.
Yep.
As, you know, through my experience of, particularly with post-traumatic stress disorder, paying attention to your body as opposed to what your brain is telling you, because your brain can lie to you, your body can't lie to you. So panic attacks is the perfect example. Listening to, my heart rate is suddenly up. Oh, I'm sweating. Oh, my head's spinning and I can't focus on anything.
Yeah.
Listen to that as opposed to, whatever your brain is manifesting at that time. And so the jaw is a great example of your body is saying something that something isn't quite right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me, often that's that manifests for me in panic attacks often, but it's also like a gut feeling often as well, like that when your stomach just drops, you're like, something isn't right here. My brain isn't telling me what it is, but my body is saying, listen up, something's wrong. That's super, super, super valuable to know that, because I think a lot of the time we kind of can push those physical symptoms of something is wrong to one side.
It's a shameful feeling, though, I feel.
Yes.
For me, I feel shame around it. And I had a Mother's Day thing. I was at lunch with my family after a big morning of church and stuff. And I got all this pain, this nerve pain in my jaw. I turned my head to look at one of my daughters and I got this massive nerve pain and down into my teeth. And one of my daughters, Aurora, is really tuned into me and my anxiety. She suffers from anxiety, and I think she just knows when I split off or shift out or something goes, my amygdala fires. I think she's got like a tune in for that.
Yeah.
So Amy G goes off. Whatever I do when that happens, she picks up on. I don't know what that is, but I feel it happen. So it's like, it's not a panic attack, because I've had that in the past, but it's like Amy G goes off. I think I'm going to die. And I then pick up my glass of Prosecco and try to pretend nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, they're all there to celebrate Mother's Day, and I just want to burst into tears and go, I've had nerve pain flashing down my left jaw. Maybe I'm having a heart attack. Maybe I'm having a stroke. I think I'm going to die. But I don't say that because I don't want my family to think I'm fucked up and mental. They already think it. They don't want to say it. But I disappear for a moment. I don't know if that happens when you have a panic attack, but I like disappear. And Aurora said to me, then I pull it back together. And I think nobody knows what's going on, but I've missed a whole bunch of the conversation because I've zoned into wherever I go. And I'm driving home with Slink, and she says, Mum, what happened during lunch? And I said, I tried to bullshit to her. What do you mean what happened during lunch? Oh, the bolognese was beautiful. She said, no, Mum, you can't bullshit me. What happened? And I go, Slink, I had a pain in my jaw. And she said, I knew it. I knew it, Mum. I saw you disappear. Why don't you just say, I'm disappearing right now. I'm not coping, fam. We all know, Mum. We all knew it. We gave each other the look. We knew. It's like, oh, fuck, it's because I feel so shameful.
Yeah.
It's horrible, Jonty.
Yeah. I've had one experience in particular that sticks out to me where I was in the green room at Churchland. We call it the vestry. Yep. Before going out to lead worship. Yep. And having an absolute, I was about to say a bad word, like the worst panic attack I've ever had in my life. That sticks out to me as one of the worst ones I ever had.
Wow.
And similar thing, like just the rest of the world just like vanishes.
Yep.
And you're like, I'm going to die right now. That's what's about to happen.
Feels it, doesn't it?
And this was like 3 minutes before the service starts, right? And a few other people are coming and going, getting ready for the service or whatever. And generally 3 to 5 minutes before the service, anyone that's involved, so like musicians, minister, sound tech, we'll get together and have a pray before, and we'll center ourselves and pray before the service. So everyone comes in and I'm just like, I have to leave. And, oh, why? Everyone kind of looked at me like, what's the deal? That's a bit weird. And then they looked at me and went, oh, get out of here. And so I left. But like the whole church is there.
Yeah.
And they know that I'm leading worship.
Yeah.
So I just walk out and leave and drive home.
Oh, Jonty, you mean leave?
Like I left.
Oh, like left. Elvis has left the building.
And
oh, man.
Some of the people that were there, they knew. And they're like, go home. We can cover this. But the shame involved with everyone seeing that
Oh, man.
is like off the charts, right?
Yeah.
And that's almost harder to reconcile or to deal with than the panic attack itself.
Yeah, I know.
Because the panic attack passed.
Yeah.
It stuck around for a while, but it did pass.
3 minutes max.
Yeah, exactly. But
90 seconds, I think, actually, isn't it? 90 seconds and you come down the other side, but it feels like eternity.
Yeah, that one felt like
20 minutes.
it felt like a couple of hours, to be honest. But yeah, the shame involved in that's still there. Like even telling that story, I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Because I can picture even though I completely disassociated in that moment, I can picture so vividly exactly who was in that room.
Yep.
Because it's just burnt into my brain that they saw me in that vulnerable space.
Mm.
And that's like, the shame in that is really, really hard to deal with.